So we're defending again. Okay, yeah, now see, Ambo is no longer the Genji. He's the McCree. So this makes a lot more sense, I think. Him being Genji, because his Dragon Blades were good, but the issue was is he wasn't having the impact because Lazy wasn't a really good Widow, and you're about to see some Widow play that's a lot worse than Lazy's Widow, so it matters a lot less. But when Lazy was playing Widow, Ambo and the Genji should have been right up in her all day. And again, see, look, you guys are holding a little bit further back. Which I think is a smart plan again if you're Widow. So we have a Widow again. We have Junkrat, we have Zarya, we have Reinhardt. Mercy, as always. Mercy must picks. But yeah, they've come just to engage head on. DC. But they do come back, so that's a good thing. And see, Divided's playing the Widow, but not nearly as smart as Lazy was playing. So you have a good chance of actually taking them out a lot more often. And we'll see that on multiple occasions that their team could have done a lot more with their composition and who was playing what. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that alt in general. I think here's the problem. There's two problems with that alt. I think you were a tad low. Like you ulted kind of down here where they had Azaria and she could shoot you, and then they had like their whole team was pretty short range. Even the Junkrat could hit you with bombs at that height. I mean, that'd have been fine if you had your Reinhardt alive and your Mind Shield and shooting it. Totally understandable, really good. But I think the biggest thing overall is that. Zenyatta, dead. Winston, dead and then rest. Mercy, dead. Free, dead. You're pretty much alone here. And that's kind of unfortunate because there's 5 people on your team because the 6 just rejoined. And see the other 4 in the kill feed. And that like it's you and Winston versus the world at this point. I think stalling would have been good, but keeping your ult would have also been good. It's not the worst mistake in the world, like everybody makes it. It's one of those things that you gotta watch for. Because yeah, if you look here, yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people standing there. And the 6th was the Mercy that you could. So, yeah. Most of their team was there waiting. Winston died and got out. Yeah, I believe we're going to see more Widow still from their team. Watched this before, but only once, so I don't remember everything. So good pick off onto the Zarya. And the trance was fairly well timed because there's a lot of damage coming through. But yeah, the Valkyrie Mercy I think is of less concern than maybe shooting farther into the back line there and getting that Junkrat and the Ana that were sitting in the back, just because Mercy didn't have access to them at that point. Because yeah, as Pharah and ulting Mercy is kind of big pain to hit when she's flying through the air. Unless you're Seagull. Yep. Oh, this is another point I would say it's kind of a panicky moment because you're going down to 18 health. But what I was hoping you would go for is either go and sneak around back here, pick up the health pack, then come back and try and regroup with your team, or try and get the health pack that's over here and then get out. I think it was either like when you're at this much health, look where your team is. Your team's all back at spawn, right? You have one guy here, but 2 people are back at spawn, 2 people are dead. So you're sitting here in the middle of nowhere and gonna get staggered. And I would have rather seen just like them get the point here and the whole thing be able to be held up front here. I mean, it still does, but that's just a reference thing. Moving on. Because yeah, you're stuck back here. This kind of prolongs death. Ooh, that's a big high noon there. Yikes. And I will give the Roadhog credit. He does get 2 kills and push a lot of people off the payload here. And this is where, like, where you play here. I think playing in this area is really good for Pharah, or like when the team's starting to push in. Because if you're standing here, you can go 2 places, and then from here you can either go forward or back up and around and behind them. Like, there's a lot of decisions here. Yeah, the myth is true, ZX. I do stream. I'm actually talking about Clark's Pharah here. I don't know, I do like the area of the map because of the options that you do. But the problem is when the Junkrat knows you're here. What's the time? It's 9:43 in the morning. Ooh. That was actually a good use of the ult, though. Get the 2. Then I believe this is where you get it. Yeah. And so far, I mean, it's just a little bit of not grouping up that's allowing them to push the card a little bit further. Thing. Not that bad. And then Hambo. No. No Hambo, not again. Back on that Genji. Yeah. Zeta, you missed Hambo, just ignore a Widowmaker for, I don't know, a good 4 minutes on a Genji and just let the Widowmaker have fun. Fun. What am I doing here? Fun. I am coaching P. Clark right now. Going over one of his games. See, I think they figured you out, Clark. They've done that. Because yeah, they're holding exactly where I said to hold on the first point when you guys were defending against the Widow. Really hard to get in using a Widow, anyways. But yeah, see, Divided as a Widowmaker, watch is just was much worse than Lazy, and they'll actually pay for it here quite a bit. Junkrat, the Junkrat being all dodgy. See, this is where Divided comes back on the Genji. They're much better. And once again, annoys the hell out of you. His crosshair's the dot. It's super hard for me to see too. It's actually at like 60% opacity dot. So yeah, I can barely see it. Crosshair's there. It's there. Yeah, I can see it in my replay, so it should be able to show up stream. And general good positioning here, getting up top, seeing if you could get the cheeky little pickoffs as the Reinhardt goes too far forward. Again, just getting over top that Reinhardt shield. Team's doing a good job, and ooh, Divided. Divided is being a menace this game. Waiting for the team. Good. And good choice here. You see the Junkrat bombs coming through. Don't go where the Junkrat bombs being spammed. A lot of this is just like generally good. I like you're floating just around the corner, forcing them off the payload. I think that's just going to be a big thing for the map because they have really good presence on the payload when they can get on the payload. Spamming, they have a lot tougher of a time. And this Mercy, I want to know how she got up there. Oh, probably Valkyrie, but this Mercy doesn't have Valkyrie, and she's flying like super high above you. I'm not sure how that happens. There she is. Finally came down. But yeah, it's just having the payload control is what got you guys in the end. I mean, it was more of a team thing than an actual, like, anything I could tell you to improve on, personally. Yeah, see, this is why Divided is good. Just, oh, there's a Widow. And Blade. Yeah, like, this is where I say that Hanbo was fine when it came to, like, actually getting Dragon Blades off. But, sure. 3-kill Dragon Blades are pretty good. But Divided as Genji was doing work.